Today we have an amazing guest. She's going to talk a lot about emotions, okay? So I'm taking the back seat and I'm letting her talk today. So you have your own questions, you have any questions about emotions and all, do ask her. And she's going to be here. She's going to talk about as I said. Hello, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, very well. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm great, and I look forward to this session today.
I was pretty excited. I have been having sessions since morning, but it was back of my mind that I have a session with you at 5, and I really wanted to host it on my own. And because I know you will have lots of inputs, lots of feedback to give us. Guys, she's Jyoti, and Jyoti is quite like, I really like that fitness and then mind, body, soul, spirit, and all that. Would you like to tell us
Yeah.
more about it?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for managing to actually conduct the session because I was really looking forward to it. And I've seen all your previous live sessions, and they're full of knowledge. I get inspired a lot by those videos, and it's an honor to be here. And I know fitness sounds very exciting, and once but then most of the people, when they enter into fitness for a certain period of time, they really enjoy doing it's an adventure because it's basically a change from your mundane life, right? But then as soon as we start traveling this path, this journey, it's a journey altogether. So each day has a different mood set, a different kind of an energy, and over a period we have to be consistent with that thing. And same thing applies to life. I believe that it's not every day is not the best day, not your 100% when you feel that you're vibing really high. So same as with the fitness, some days you'll feel like pumped up, and some days you would feel like you really want to just leave it. Really, that's like most of my clients in the beginning. After first month, they're like they start losing that energy. So when I was going through this entire fitness thing, which was all about the physical fitness, when I started in 2011, and I started with physical fitness. I was a very fat kid. So that was the reason. And then I started dancing because dancing was my passion. So over a certain period of time, I did achieve my physical fitness. And I also won Mrs. India Body Fit. And it was hard work. But then at a certain point, I started feeling as if I've reached my desired body goal. But then what about my mental state? I still don't feel that kind of a, happiness, which I thought I would, because I thought this is just the thing, this is the only thing I want in my life. That's the achievement, that I want to lose weight and I want to be fit. But that wasn't the case. And then I started reading more about it, and I reached through my own realizations. And that was the time when I started meditating, I started doing yoga, and then I realized and I created my own programs how your mind, body, emotional health, and spiritual health, it's a combination of everything. So fitness is not just limited to your physical fitness, but then your mental fitness, emotional fitness, and spiritual fitness as well. So that's how I came up with the Mind Body Spirit Studio.
Wow, wow, that's such an inspirational story, and I totally agree with you. Sometimes we just feel that exercise is all physical. I'm very quite open about it. I like when I started with yoga, meditations, physiotherapy, and all. And then I did Pilates and mat Pilates, I did. And then the second level, I could not clear the exam, and I wrote it 4 or 5 times. I failed all the 4 or 5 times the theory. The practical I used to score 98, 97,
Wow.
but theory I used to flunk like this. And I was like, okay, fine, I don't need a degree. One degree does not define me types, just that
Yeah.
attitude. But what I liked was about Pilates was new, and new in this form, like, you know, trendy, modern, everything, but it had that connection between your body and your mind and your soul.
Right.
And when I used
Right.
to take sessions, I used to incorporate so many Pilates exercises, and people would ask me, "What is this you are doing?" Because I wasn't a certified trainer, so I couldn't say that I am certified in Pilates. But I
Right.
would say yoga, meditation, physiotherapy, blah blah. But then they will see this difference in it, that what is it that you are doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it used to give amazing results how people used to connect. So you are right. It is not only about physical, it is emotional, it is spiritual. Yeah. Wonderful. So I want to ask you, cater mostly to ladies, though you are open to all the genders, but mostly your clientele is women. Clientele, yeah. So how has it been emotionally for them during this lockdown?
So, I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you about myself first, how I ended up, talking more about emotional health. So during this lockdown, it was, by God's grace, it was a very positive period for me, and it was very much manageable. Although there's always a fear of something like this happening worldwide, but then I think I had overcome that state of, when your mind is actually bullying your body and your entire functioning of you and your own existence. So I was already out of that phase of my life, and as I told you that I had my own realization. So that was the period when I understood that our mind is like a monkey. We always say that the mind is a monkey, right? Why do we say that? Because um, the way monkeys start, it's always constantly moving. It can't sit at one place. So similar thing is with our minds. It cannot be, focused on one thing. We at one point I'm thinking about this, and then within seconds I'm on some other thought, and it's like it's all coming together, right? And that's what messes up with our brains. So I did realize that we should not actually be the bully to our minds, but actually we should learn how to actually use our minds in our favor, and not to use it, not to let it use us against ourselves, our souls, and whatever makes us happy. So that is how we come up with starting the campaigns for mental health awareness and emotional health and stuff like that. So yeah, yoga and meditation, if I talk particularly about yoga and meditation, it is basically to make you calmer and focus on one thing. And that's what yoga does to you. And as you told me that you did Pilates, and I think you're more of a doer than a theory person. You believe in going practical. So that's a really good quality, because that is called karma yoga. People who believe in karma, they are more efficient in that space. So you would like to do experiments, do the practical, and then you would like to learn. So that's kind of a
Oh,
person
I
you
am
are,
that
which,
person. I need to fall and then I will learn. I don't learn
yeah,
it from other people's mistakes, like, or anything. In fact, जब courses भी होते हैं ना, so if there are, I have a lot of people who can help me, mentor me, and I'm connected with very good mentors, therapists all over the world. I can learn it from them when they tell me, no, I need to take that course, be in that
yeah,
class, learn, take
right,
demos, and then I'll be like, I need now an internship to get it inside me. They're like, कब से तो तुम internships ही लेती रहती हो? And I make sure that every year I take an internship. Doesn't matter I have done it before, I will again join there. I will go there. And sometimes people tell me, no, ma'am, we feel embarrassed. You know, how can we give you an internship? I'm like, no, it's absolutely fun. And that is how I
yeah.
learn. Okay,
It's
before
always
we go
good to
ahead,
learn new things. Yeah.
yeah, sorry. Before we go ahead, there's Abdullah. Abdullah is saying that I have exam, final year exam tomorrow. So, you know, he has exam, so I don't want him to wait here. He's like, I'm having anxiety. So can you just tell him before the exam what can he do so that he feels calmer?
Yeah. So, thank you so much for the question, and I'm really glad that you're open to talk about it. That's the first step towards your inner happiness and well-being. So, really, congratulations to you for asking this out. And during exams, obviously, we feel that anxiety, and now today, youth is facing even more anxiety because of the situations which are going on. But then at the same time, the youth and a young mind is more powerful and is more conscious about life these days. If you see, the consciousness of universe itself is expanding. So they are more proficient in how to live life, how to use your brains. But then everybody needs some kind of a consultation, some kind of a, tried and tested techniques which actually work for you. So I'll tell you one very simple thing. If you feel any anxiety before your exam, and probably there are many thoughts which are popping up, so you have to basically just try to clear out those thoughts and detach yourself from those thoughts for a while. So there's one very simple breathing exercise which you can do. It's a pranayam. You can either do anulom vilom, or you can just start with deep inhalation and exhalation, right? Just try when you breathe in, try to hold your breath for 2 or 3 seconds and then release. So be conscious about your breathing. Sit in a silence place, and you can either lie down or you can sit. But do these simple breathing exercise. Just be conscious about your breathing. Focus, bring all your attention towards your breathing, and do it 4 or 5 times minimum, and you can do it for as long as you want. You'll considerable changes are seen on the very first session with my students itself, and it really works. Right. So right after this thing, you can actually try this, and it's gonna really try to make your head a little clearer, and you'll be able to concentrate on one thing.
Yeah, that's a beautiful answer. Abdullah, you should try it. And at the same time, you can also add one distraction sheet, we call it. Just have a pen and paper and ask yourself, where is my mind drifting? It is drifting to, what would be the result? Just write it down. Okay, result we will see later. Right now, let me focus on the present, which is like to study. Just focus on that. But ask yourself, what are you actually anxious about? And try to do that. And breathing exercise, what she said, I also like make compulsory for people to do pranayam in my sessions. I'm like, otherwise I'm not going to take your sessions because it is not going to help much. So I do understand the importance of breathing techniques. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yes. So another thing I want to know is like, what is a trend you saw during this lockdown in your clients emotionally? What have been the issues they have been coming up with? That what is it more?
Yeah, so the thing is, as I told you, that most of my clientele is female so far. So females, when they used to go out, they used to work, they had to just concentrate on their work, right? Now, when they are at their homes and they are homebound, they're supposed to do, everything at the home, and then, manage their work from home as well. So it really took a toll on them, and yeah, it was really, they were really facing anxiety issues. They could not sleep well, and they could not, understand how to manage everything because they were not used to it. Right. So there is a process, as I told you, there's a journey. Each day we do some kind of an exercise which is actually relieving for your soul. So that was the most important thing because, in work, trying to manage everything, office, house, and everything, they would start, forgetting their own selves, and that was the most important thing. They had to manage how to focus on it. So there's a technique which we did, and that was 888 technique. And 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of your work, and 8 hours to yourself. Right. So in that 8 hours, which is for yourself, try to at least take out 30 minutes to 45 minutes, which I am sure if you make your health a priority, take out 30 minutes to 45 minutes to, exercise, do something for your soul. Even for example, it's about what mindset do we carry. There were a lot of people we see so much of positivity on social media, that people were creating new dishes, they were enjoying it. So that's the other way of seeing any situation. So even if you're cooking something, try to be more creative in it, because I think creativity is something which really, really relaxes our souls. So do something for yourself, exercise daily, and rest. Try to focus on something which is going to give you happiness, or which is more creative, which is for your soul. You know, even talking to your partner, there were major challenges when, you know, two people, they live together for 24 hours. We tend to, you know, share our energies with each other. So what we usually do is we try to expect something from the other person, whereas it's about, you know, trying to fulfill your happiness, your needs by yourself, because nobody is responsible for you. You are the person who's responsible for yourself. We cannot actually change anyone. The only person we can change is ourselves. So once we try to, you know, if we are going in just one state and we see the other person is also going into that state, so the idea is to actually shift your energy from there, right? So when you shift your energy, when you do things which make you happy, when you change your vibes, you take start taking care of yourselves, the other person would actually do the same thing for you. So that's how we try to bring some relief in the tensions which were happening in between the couples. And then a lot of couples, they joined meditation sessions together. Earlier they were just females, and they were attending my sessions, but then during that time, even their partners, they were open to join it, because again they were doing something which wasn't monotonous. So exercising and taking out time for yourself is very important.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like self-love, self-care is very, very important. And I love this thing. Like, in fact, we say it that you are your only responsibility. And why to depend on others? दूसरा मेरे को खुश करेगा, दूसरा मेरे को अच्छी बात बोलेगा, सरप्राइज देगा, गिफ्ट करेगा. You want to do it for yourself. And if somebody else does, it's a value addition. But it should
Right.
not be the primary source of your happiness. I agree with you there. So another thing I want to know is, you said energy shift. You know, we need to shift our energy. But families are living together. Everybody is interconnected and they are getting on each other's nerves. So can you just give an example with some emotion where people will understand it? What is this energy shift we are talking about?
Okay. So I gave you an example of how we start expecting from others for our happiness. So if, for example, a female is doing something every day, asking her husband to, take her out, or gift her something, or make her happy, or any such expectation which would make her feel fulfilled, or she would, there are many situations when females, they are not in that much tension with their partner, but then with rest of the family. And what they do is they try to just keep everything inside, and then they go to their partner and then they lash out on their partners. Then again, it creates the tension between the two primary energies, which are not supposed to be that way, right? So it's okay if your partner is okay with it, that's fine. But again, as I said, it's our responsibility. So, but there are a lot of times when we cannot actually, it's easier to say than to actually do it, right? So there's a technique which I actually teach my students, that whenever somebody is saying something which you are not able to handle on by yourselves, and you feel some, uneasiness, and you feel anxious, or there's anger, you know there are words which you cannot ignore. Basically, I can understand that we are all human, so we have to get off that hook, that of just pressurizing, or of being that perfect person. So what you can do is, you can try gibberish. So if somebody is saying something which isn't pleasant to you, try gibberish next time. So fake it till you make it, till the time you're not that person who can actually change the vibe of the room, and you actually get affected by any other person's energy. So try to fake it, try to just speak gibberish in your mind, and you'll see the instant result. There'll be,
In the
because you won't
mind,
your
not
mind.
out loudly.
Not out loud in your mind. That depends how courageous you are.
That
That
would
it
drive
is.
next person crazy if they are going to be loud about it. Yeah, I was just
So,
thinking about it, just imagine something is happening and you're like, and the next person goes, what? Like, you'll be just,
yeah.
yeah, you'll be a battleground soon.
Yeah, exactly. So it's up
Does
to
that
you.
work actually?
Yeah, try it. Try it with me. Try with me right now. You can. I am just speaking to you. I'll speak for next 5 seconds, and in your mind, you just talk gibberish and see if you understand something or not, or how your emotions are.
Oh,
Um,
like,
is
yeah,
this
I'm
session
this
gonna work?
person, I'm not a multitasker, I'm one on one. So my complete focus is there on you right now. So
So let us
let's
both
answer.
try with each other. Let us both try with each other. So you can even, this is again a very good partner active meditation, and you can even try it with your partner. So instead of going to your partner and exactly telling him the same words which affected you, just go and ask him to try gibberish with you, and you see how relaxing it would be. So you can try it with me. So for a
Okay.
while, we're going to talk in gibberish.
Oh my god, it's so fun.
It's fun,
It's
and
so
then your mind is just occupied doing something which is like very relaxing for your soul. It's like nothingness. That's what soul wants. That's what we as a person we want. That the ultimate goal is peace, right? Peace within ourselves. So it actually takes a mind off all the things which are going around us.
Yeah. Guys, you should try this whenever you have a conflict at home. Your mother is saying something, you don't agree with her. Let her talk, but you speak gibberish in your own mind and just get out of it. There are ways. That's what she is teaching you, how we can stay emotionally healthy and at the same time, let other person also release what they have inside of them. And we
Exactly.
are not taking it on us. So that is the beauty of it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Arun is asking you, what is happiness to you?
What is happiness to me?
Yeah.
Why do you want to know my version of happiness? That's the first thing, right? My version of happiness is for me. We all should be worried about our own versions of happiness, right? So, for me, happiness, if you really are interested, and then let me tell you, happiness for me is being myself, doing what I feel I want to do, following my passion. Lately, it has been the purpose which I have found, and working on towards that purpose is what happiness to me.
Yes, Arun, that is what we all have different ways of looking at it. For someone, it would be growing a plant. For someone, it will be cracking an
Right.
exam for IAS. For someone, it would be just being on the beach. Someone, it is like making their startup prosper. It is all different for different people. You need to ask yourself, what does it mean for you? And then there is another question, how to remove stress?
How
Akash
to
is asking.
remove stress? Okay, Akash. First of all, you have to identify where the stress is coming from. The way Aruba explained earlier, that you have to identify.
I
And
lost your audio. Yeah, it's better. Hmm.
okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
So, see, I'm going to tell you one thing. Lately, we've been listening to these words, anxiety, stress, depression, so much that we are not actually aware that we really do have stress, we really have depression, are we really anxious, or it's just something that we are listening lately, and whatever mild emotion we are feeling, we are naming it as stress, anxiety. So the reason you have to identify the reason of your stress. Why are you stressing, and what is the thing that you're stressing on? If it's something which you can control, then be mindful, sit for a while, do deep breathing, and ask yourself that question, that can I control this this situation? Can I make it right? How to make it right? What to do about it? Just sit with yourself, close your eyes for a while, and do deep breathing. I'm sure you'll have your answer, because we all are intelligent enough to resolve our own queries, right? Our bodies have the capability to cope up with any disease, any anxiety, any mental issue, emotional illness, anything. We are capable enough to handle it by ourselves. It's just about going within ourselves. So that's one thing that you can do if you think you have a solution to it. If there's something which you cannot control, then there's no matter how much energy you're going to put into it, no matter how much time you waste in it, but there's going to be no ultimate result. So there's no point sitting on something which you cannot control. So the best way is to try to focus on something else. Again, by something else, I mean something which is your next priority. If you think, you obviously think about something so intensely, because according to you that's your priority. But then move, if you cannot control it, just move on to your next priority, right? So that's how you can manage stress. And plus, as I told you, exercising every day, meditating for at least 10 to 12 minutes in the beginning is going to be really beneficial for you if you want to get rid of stress.
Yes, yes, that is actually what one needs to do. Identify it. I always tell people, if you have a problem, you have a solution. If there is no solution, that means there is no problem.
No
If
problem.
you think,
Right.
because it's always like a problem has a solution, kuch to hoga hi na. So if you think that there's a stress, find out the ways around it. What can I do about it? How can I simplify it? And then meditation and exercises. I feel, everyone, irrespective of the age, gender, anything, everyone should know meditation. Any form of
Yeah.
meditation, you can go for any form of, but they should be aware. अभी कोविड की वजह से people have gotten very much aware of meditation, self awareness, and all these things, which I feel is a blessing of this period. People became very much aware of themselves, aware of their emotions. Mindfulness आया है, and I'm super proud of them and super proud of people like us who have been spreading it out. But I feel like irrespective of any situation, people feel that they need to meditate when there is a problem, when there is a emotional chaos, turmoil going on. I'm like, come on, you don't clean your house only on Diwali and Eid. You clean it on
Right.
every day, but Diwali, Eid, you do special safai. So maybe some days do special safai of your mind, but on everyday basis there should be a safai, and which is meditation. So I feel everybody should know it.
Definitely, you gave a really amazing example that the way we clear our homes, we have to clear our minds as well, so that we can experience more better feelings and different experiences. Otherwise it's all going to build up. And there's another reason of meditating or doing yoga is because most of the why does the stress actually happen? Because our mind goes in fight or flight mode, right? So according to psychology, from the sympathetic nervous system, we shift to parasympathetic nervous system. So that's what yoga and meditation does to us, that it from fight to flight mode, it actually brings our mind to rest and digest mode. So that's what yoga and meditation do to you. It helps you build up your sense of self. It build up your confidence, especially for students who are preparing for examination, or anybody who's stressed out because of work or this entire situation these days.
Yeah, yeah, true. Now there's another question: what to do when you feel hopeless, lost, and absolutely demotivated?
Okay, there are a lot of emotions which are going on in this person, but that's completely fine. See, what happens is that when we start forgetting ourselves, we try to remember, subconsciously or consciously, we try to get influence from the conditions which we are brought up in. the conditioning of the entire system, the childhood, the education system uh, of our country, and then our parents, our teachers. So everybody has tried to teach us something, and not everybody was teaching the same thing, right? So see how many, if you want to see it in a way that you're all messed up with this thought, or how you can, organize your mind is, and how you can see the positivity out of this thing. Because I've heard it many times that people say because of the conditioning, this and that, teachers told us this. And see, we cannot blame anyone. We can be smart enough to take it make it work in our favor. So see, as the different perspectives you've got, throughout your life, and it's, you have the full freedom, and accept yourself to choose the perspective, choose the path, the teaching or learning which you like for yourself, which the version you want to become. So again, it's very important to get that clarity in your mind first, that what do you want and why do you want it, right? So if you will be conscious enough on daily basis that whatever you're doing, whether you're watching TV, whether you're reading a book, whether you're listening to music, whether you're working on a particular job, why are you doing it? So it's very important to ask yourself these things, and then according to that, choose what you want to choose. And you see, there are just two ways: either you know uh, do what you love or love what you do. So it's not that if you're doing something which is out of the necessity of feeding your family or yourselves, there's no harm in it. People have said, they say that it's really stressful for people who are going to the offices. But why are they stressed out? Because probably they are not actually loving their job. If there is a situation wherein your job is your necessity, then there's no other way than to love it. If you love your job, your job is going to love you back. It's again the energy shift. So it depends, it really is based on what emotion or what energy you are sending out to your job, or even to the food you eat. It's a wonderful example, the way you eat your food, what is your state of mind when you're having it. Try to always, touch your food and try to feel it, that it's going to enter your body. Try to show some gratitude towards your food, and the whatever energy you're going to give to your food, that's going to come back to you. That's how the law of nature works. That's like science.
That is so true. One needs to have that gratitude, and we forget that. And this demotivation, hopelessness does come from, you need to understand what are you feeling demotivated about. The same thing what you said. If you are going to a job and you still feel tired, maybe you don't like the job, but you are doing it. That's I have to do it and I want to do it. You are not doing it. I want to do it. You're doing. I have to do it. I have to do it. Obviously, energy is down, so that is how you are going to
Mm,
feel hopeless or
exactly.
demotivated.
Exactly.
Plus, again, her previous thing: exercise, physical workout, and meditation must.
Right. I'm going to show a quick breathing exercise, which is the third edition to Pranayama Udgit. And it's such a simple exercise. What, or see, again, as I told you, that what our souls need is the peace, the nothingness, a little while for ourselves to just experience that nothingness, so that we can, understand and have the clarity in our mind. So there's a small exercise which you can do. I know it's very tough to actually go through that situation, and you feel really paranoia, and you feel that anxiety. So just to calm yourself with so many emotions going on in your mind at the same time, just try to relax yourself. You can make this mudra, and you keep it on your lap, and keep your head a little up, because we don't want to pull ourselves down. That's the reason I always say, just anti-gravity motion. Keep that, and keep your eyes closed. Take a deep breathing. Inhale. Now, while you exhale, just chant Om. Yeah, so you do it for as many time you want, but then try to see how it gives the clarity of your mind. See, instantly in just two chantings, I feel so relaxed. I hope you do too. But when you bring it into practice daily, you get better at it. So there's one more thing which I want to tell you, the exercise, the way Aroba, you were explaining the exercise, which are very important, because a lot of us cannot just sit in the meditative position, but then we need quick resolution to our problems, right? So what you can do is there's a small exercise again. Make a gratitude list, right? Make a gratitude list that what all things are there which you feel hopeful about, which makes you happy, which makes brings purpose in your life. So try to write at least 10 things which you're thankful for in your life, and just when you're done with it, try to read it every day, right? Try to especially read it out loud at the time when you're going through that hopelessness or you know that stress phase. So it really works. Try.
Wow. It was really, really helpful, really helpful. Like I can imagine, uh, Upasna, please do this, follow this, and I'm sure you are going to feel better. Or जिनके लिए भी आपने पूछा, they are going to feel better. So there's another thing: how to get rid of panic attacks. So panic attacks and pranayama is lot, like it is connected. I tell people because panic attack is all about physical symptoms. So what do you say about that?
Right. So when we say panic, why panic actually happens. So again, we have to always go to the root cause, right? Till the time we don't go to the root cause, we won't actually be able to get the right kind of a solution. So why panic happens is because throughout our life at this stage, we have not been living our lives consciously, whether we are eating, whether we are watching, whether we are studying, we were kind of not conscious enough to understand why are we doing what we are doing, or we are doing things just because the other person is doing it. So that's okay, it's never too late. Now that we understand that we've been going through that phase of just living unconsciously, be mindful of that time. When it happens for a certain period, our body actually starts showing us symptoms. So I'll give you one example. It'll be easier for you to understand what I'm talking about. you know um, we feel healthy every day? We do not, right? Sometimes we feel, that we're looking fat. Sometimes we feel, oh, today I look so amazing. So there are like fluctuations in your health as well. It's not 100% every day. On some days you're 100% active and energetic, and some days you feel a bit low. So the same thing starts happening to your mind as well. So right now, when we have this physical, situations wherein if you're not working out for a longer time, for sufficient time, you actually gain weight, right? So you can see that physical change in yourself. You can identify that problem because you can see it from your naked eyes. So what we do is we go to the gym, we will start dieting, and we'll start taking care of our body. But then, because we don't see what's happening in our minds, and we cannot actually understand what's happening in our minds. So after a certain period of time, when we are not taking care of our minds, it actually starts showing the physical symptoms. Right. So the way we exercise on our bodies, it's important to work out on our mental health, on our emotional health at the same time. So these exercises, which I just demonstrated, these are the examples of the workout which is for your mental health, which is for your mind. The way you work out on dumbbells at the gym, or you do yoga for your body. Similarly, these exercises, meditation, it's for working out for your mind. So that is the reason I'm explaining it so much, because you have to understand the psyche of it, why these things are happening, why panic is happening. So what a beautiful thing which is going to happen when you meditate is, life is not constant. When it's constant, we are dead, right? So when it flows from up to down, from up to down, it's that time when, it's the entire journey which is called life, right? Not just the straight line. So when you're vibing high on your energies, what happens is when we're so happy, we go all out, we're so courteous to people, we're all happy, but then when we go down during this phase and we start feeling a bit low, we actually detach ourselves from everybody. But then at the same time, that is the most important time when you have to bring in your energy from there to here so that you can cope up with the situation and, again climb up. So that's very important. That's what meditation does to you, that during those low times when you're actually meditating, during this time when you're actually vibing high, you're feeling good, that at that time, it's always said, even a lot of yogis, they say that don't meditate because you're depressed. As you said, it's not the time, that is not the right time to do it. In fact, when you feel a little finer, that is the time to meditate, because that is the time when your mind would be more clear, it's going to be on the positive line. So when you meditate at this point, when life is vibing high, you'll have that energy is going to come back to you, you will be stored, be thankful for that. And then when you go down, it's going to be actually smoother for you. I wouldn't say it's like all good, but that it's a journey, it comes with practice.
Yes, it does take some time. It does take some time to reach there. But once you are there, it's a blessing, and it becomes a, your daily. It just becomes a daily thing. It is not a task anymore that you have to do. You just be anywhere and you are able to meditate. That's how it
Yeah.
happens. A lot of people ask me that, how do you meditate every day? I'm like, Pata nahi, it just happens every day. So that is what
See,
happens there.
yeah, I'll tell you one thing. It's like, it's not, meditation is not just about sitting and just, closing your eyes. It's not about that. But it's about the consciousness of a person.
Hmm.
If you're conscious enough, if whatever we're doing on our in our daily lives, if we are conscious enough, uh, we are meditating, during that entire day, even if we are not sitting. But just be conscious about whatever you're doing. So you're already there. You're already meditating if you're doing everything mindfully with more consciousness. Life becomes meditation itself when you start, falling in love with life.
Yeah, yeah, true. Okay, thank you so much, Jyoti. It was such enlightening session, and I'm sure all the audience have gotten all the tips. And I really want to say thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us, for giving us these amazing tips. I'm going to try gibberish definitely, and all the other pranayam exercise and small tips you have given. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It was all pleasure, Aruba. And, to be very honest, answering to all the questions which were asked, it was amazing. And I really felt like, again, I am on the right path. And I'm really glad that I connected with you and I'm here. And I really hope we meet more and more people like us, and we can, just spread more awareness. We can help more people, and may God bless all.
Definitely, we will definitely do that. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
I'm sorry, guys. So that was Jyoti, and you can follow her on her page. She was amazing, she was amazing, and she gave us amazing tips. I hope you practice all those tips and get back to us if you have any questions. And thank you so much. Oh my God, frontline heroes. वो doctors को ही दे दो यार. But yeah, we all play our part. You play your part. We play our part. We all contribute in big or smaller ways, and we should be proud of ourselves for doing that. With that note, thank you so much. This is my time to play with my dogs. They're knocking at my door, so I better run. Thank you, guys. Bye.